I'm holding a recent issue of Canada's popular Maclean's magazine. It's not just the cover that's disturbing. Let me open this for you. Nearly half of baby boomers are expecting some sort of inheritance from their parents, but on average, Canadians overestimate what they're going to get by 50%. This article also reports that the average person aged 56 to 65 is carrying $27,000 in consumer debt through credit cards and loans primarily. They're going to need cash to maintain their standard of living, and the desperation is starting to show. Wall Street best-selling author Mary Hunt is right on time with the book she didn't want to write, The Smart Woman's Guide to Planning for Retirement, How to Save for Your Future Today. Mary, so good to have you back.
Oh, thank you, Maura.
One money columnist said that this is an often terrifying topic, and it's your most challenging book.
It is. It's the first book of all that I've written that I was commissioned to write. My publisher came to me, gave me the title, and asked me to write this book. And I said, no, 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 no. And after many, many going back and forth, I agreed to do it. And Moira, I've got to tell you something. This is going to sound trite, like I've said it 1,000 times, but honestly, truly, writing this book changed my life.
You call it a wake-up call.
It rocked my world.
And you're Madam Financial Everything.
But I was never going to retire. Are you kidding?
Oh.
That was not in my vocabulary. Retire? Who wants to do that? I was never ever going to do that. I never wanted to admit to the fact that I was going to reach a point in my life, possibly, where I would be forced to retire. I mean, you know, retirement is not always a choice. Sometimes it is forced upon us by health issues, by getting old. I mean, you know, really. We do live a long time, but we don't work till the end of our lives. So, I got to tell you something. If I only wrote this book for me and no one else wrote it, it was worth all of the pain, all of the suffering, everything that I went through to do it.
And it's the statistics that rattled your cage.
Terrible.
Right?
It is.
When you started doing the research.
Absolutely.
Poverty rate of women 65 and older, 2 times higher than that of men.
Right.
55% of women in America depend on Social Security alone.
Alone. Who can live on that? I'm telling you, it is the scariest thing ever. But for me, the wake-up call came when I had to actually, I mean, it's not like I don't know how old I am, but I never ever thought about that in terms of when I would be drawing, you know, pension and Social Security benefits and the Canadian alternative of what all that is. I mean, truly, I think I came face to face with my own mortality, which how many of us want to do that on a daily basis? But I've got to tell you that I went through all of this pain. I went through all of this so that you won't have to. Okay, I've done all the work. I've researched it. I've come up with a plan, and I got to tell you something. It worked for me and my husband because between the time that I began writing the book and finished it, we did this 180-degree thing. We actually relocated to another state so that we could buy a home and pay cash for it, which is really, really important, I think. It's one of the points in the book, how important it is not to go into retirement with a big mortgage.
So many good points. You say that unhappy people generally are people who either retired too early or retired with too much debt.
Absolutely. It's a killer. It's an absolute killer, and especially for women, because statistically, medically, we are predisposed to live longer than men. 9 out of 10 women listening to us right now will at one point in her life be the sole responsibility for her own financial situation because she will be on her own.
There are 2 things I thought were really significant. Financial security, a basic need for women, more than men.
That's right. We're created that way.
And then on the positive side, I'm seeing that as a vulnerability, of course. On the positive side, you say women are better equipped to handle financial management and investing.
Absolutely, and that is statistically provable. We have documentation for that. I mean, think about it, Moira. We were created by God to nurture small things that are helpless, right?
Yes.
Like babies,
Like
you know,
babies.
to have babies, to organize a family, to run a home, and all of those things. That's all it is about taking care of money. It's being smart, it's being able to organize, it's being able to be disciplined, which That's in our DNA as women.
And some men, I've met lots, who have just relegated that responsibility, the money management, to their wife.
They're smart.
But there are others like me. I mean, this is not a joke, but I say to my husband, honey, if anything happened to you, I wouldn't even know where the light bulbs are, never mind how to put one in. You know, just all of that is left to him.
Right.
That's a dangerous position.
It is, and it puts us in a position of kind of hoping, kind of like little girls who don't want to face the big world of responsibility. We need to grow up. Women need to realize that we've been given this ability. You know, God has given that to us. And I want women especially listening to us right now not to be frightened about this, because I truly believe that we do our plans, we do the right thing, we are good stewards of what we have to manage. But in the end, we take our plan and we hand it over to God for the outcome. But we need to be responsible for that.
It sounds daunting, but you take us, you do literally walk us through. You hold our hand and walk us through. And I had to just pick one, what's going to be our takeaway today? Because really we need to get the book. But a lifetime money plan. There's planning by decades too, which is fascinating and significant. But let's just quickly go through what this looks like. A lifetime money plan. First, you need to develop a money management system.
Right. Every woman, whether she has a job of her own, makes her own salary, whether it's pooled with a family, whether she's a stay-at-home mom, needs to know how to manage the money. And whether that's the grocery money or whatever, you've got to have a plan. I went through this. This was a struggle for me. Over the years I have worked, but I got to tell you something. That has brought such freedom to my life. And I want people to know that this is not a heavy textbook. Was it kind of fun to read my book?
Oh, fun to read.
It's a fun read,
Lots
isn't
of great
it?
quotes.
Yes, yes. So absolutely, you've got to have a plan. You know, when I get a paycheck, how do I manage it?
Build an emergency fund. Boy, you camp on this one. I mean, the unexpected happens so often in our life. It might just be a major car disaster. You know, big expenses, the economy, who knows?
You know, isn't it basic for most of us to have an emergency plan other than money in our lives? I mean, we have food set aside. We know where the batteries and the candles are in case the power goes out.
Don't say light bulbs.
Okay, I won't say that. I promise. But absolutely, we need to have money set aside because we just don't know what the future holds. I think that's honoring to the Lord. I think it's honoring. It shows that we are good, wise stewards.
Here's a basic principle, but so tough. Get out of debt. Oh. The statistics on this are horrifying.
Oh, Moira, you've got to say it louder than that. Get out of debt. That's my mission, is to help people do that. And it is not as difficult as people believe. We have to stop listening to the voices out there in society that tell us we can have it all right now. We can't have it all right now. We wouldn't know what to do with it all right now. So yes, get out of debt. That's my specialty. I love to help people get out of debt.
We're on the fourth thing, maximize your retirement accounts.
You know, a lot of people do not even participate. If this is available to you in your country, in your job, in your employer has this for you, absolutely maximize what is available to you. But let me follow that by saying that will never be enough. You need to do more beyond that. But that's a good place to start because you get great advantages there.
Own your home outright. Okay, we rocked a few people right there. That's the fifth of 6
I'm
points.
telling you something. No one wants to be paying rent or a mortgage in retirement. No. And you need to be able to pay off your home before then. Find a way to do it. There are many ways you can do this. It's very, very important. I think the last thing you want to do is to go into retirement with a great big rent payment or a mortgage.
And the sixth thing is build your personal investment portfolio.
Doesn't that sound good?
Yeah.
You like saying that, don't you?
I do. It sounds so secure.
Yeah, it is not difficult. You know, a lot of women, I don't know what it is about our gender, but we like to kind of feel helpless and someone else will take care of me. But really, I've taught myself how to be an investor. I'm not setting the world on fire, but I think that I know enough about that and I can teach people, and I've done that. It's very simple. And in fact, I even give you some cheat sheets in the book.
In the book.
Yes, exactly. You want this investment, you want to divide your money up this way, and you don't have to have thousands of dollars to get started. You can start with $50. You really can.
Some people may be seeing you for the first time, Mary, and I just want them to know that they can go to 100huntley.com, put your name in there, and look at our interview about your classic, the book the Financially Confident Woman, and they will hear the capsule of your personal journey. 25 years of financial
Horror.
irresponsibility, okay, horror. And so what you're talking about is lessons learned from your own journey.
Absolutely.
And even the many years, was it 13 years you took to pay back a debt of,
It took too long.
how much? What was that
It
debt?
was more than $100,000 of credit card debt, and we're talking decades ago, Moira. We're talking that's equal to today's dollars, huge amount of money.
And what you learned in the process
Absolutely.
would have reduced that time hugely. You're bringing us the
Absolutely.
lessons of a tough journey.
That's
that
right.
is now so much wisdom for us.
But what I want people to know, I want you to know, it's
Go
not
ahead,
too
tell 'em.
late. It's not too late, but it's only too late if you don't start right now. Wherever you are, get started now.
Mary will walk you through. Can you believe the availability of this woman? She's willing to help you online. Mary at debtproofliving.com. And I love the quote in your book. It says, you say, smart women are strong and willing to face the future. Oh, and here's a sweet one. Retirement is a rest stop for people starting something new.
Oh, don't you love that?
I love that.
Oh, that just opened up a whole new world to me. And while writing this book rocked my world, and I say that, and I've written about it, anybody can come online and read my whole long story about writing this book. I am so grateful for where we are right now. My husband and I have taken these principles to heart. We own our home. Moira, we do not have a mortgage. We don't have to pay rent.
We can see your
own our
wings
home.
of freedom.
Oh.
It's absolutely beautiful. The Smart Woman's Guide to Planning for Retirement, How to Save for Your Future Today, is at our e-store. And just one show and tell to close. This came in yesterday from a viewer. When a chapter of your life book is complete, your spirit knows it's time to turn the page so a new chapter can begin. Even when you're scared or think you're not ready, your spirit knows you are. You've been an encouragement to us today,
Thank
Mary.
you so much.
God bless you.
I
Keep
love
coming
being
back.
here. Oh, I'd love it.